Well, let me get to our screen share. Okay, so tonight's topic is to answer the question, is it one of those things? What is network marketing? Is it one of those pyramid schemes? So the LifeWave business opportunity explained. So the purpose today is to try to explain this model of distribution honestly, without a lot of hype, but also without the bias that I personally had in the past. So I want to do that, try to make it clear, and then you can decide if this business model fits you. So we're going to set the expectations at the start. So network marketing and the LifeWave business isn't meant for everybody. It's not for everybody. 95% of people who are enrolled as brand partners, frankly, just do that to get the best pricing. It's a very small number of people that do the business. Some people come to LifeWave for the products. Some people then get curious about the science and trying to understand it and look at all the different products that are available. Some people want to share the products and the technology with their friends and their acquaintances and their family, but they don't want to do it as a business. But then there are others of us who get really excited about the business aspects and want to share beyond just our closest circle, and that's building something for the long term. And all of these are fine choices to make, and you just decide where you are in that. It's not my goal to convince you of anything, but just to explain the business model so that you can understand it. So just listen to this as a conversation. I'm not trying to pitch you anything or convince you to join the business. So what LifeWave does and does not do. So LifeWave, the company, does not promise any incomes. And nothing that I go over tonight is to say that you have a promise of an income. What you do have is LifeWave provides a structure um, that sets up rewards for using the products, for loyalty and continuing to use the products and share the products with other people, and then leadership in building a team of other salespeople or other brand partners. Um, so it's a structure, it's not a promise, but that structure is open to anybody, and you can go as far as you want based upon your motivation and your skill set. Nobody's telling you where you have to stop. So what are the mindset? I was going to say there's a fourth mindset here, which is somebody who just wants the product. That's all the way to the left, and that is great. But then there is are people that want a little bit of extra. They want to share this enough to enough other people that they're producing enough commissions a month that they get enough money to pay for their products, and they're happy with that. There are then people who move beyond that and see, boy, there's a potential here for me to make money that could change my life, whether that's 300, $500 a month, two or $3,000 a month. That's up to you, but there's a potential to do that. And so that's building a team with a few people. And then there is the ability to really make this a life transforming business opportunity where you treat this as a serious business, not as a part-time little hobby, but as something that you're trying to build and you see it as a long-term business and an asset. So that's the kind of upper level of what people can do. So why would LifeWave choose network marketing? Well, the LifeWave products are very unique and they are paradigm shifting. The technology is not like anything else that's out there. And so it takes explaining and it takes more storytelling from personal experience. So education is involved. New users appreciate having support of people that they can ask questions of. Frankly, those of us who are experienced users, we get excited about this and we want to tell people about it and share the products. And in the end, dealing with somebody that you trust is much more important than advertising. So this is a product that if it were to sit on a store shelf, that would not do it justice, and it just would not work out. So it needs more hand holding. with the new users until this becomes a technology that's really broadly understood. So most people become involved with LifeWave because somebody that they trusted shared the product with them. That is what happened to us. I had heard about LifeWave and thought it sounded stupid. And because it was a network marketing company, I blew it off for 2.5 years, thinking that it was just a scam or a piece of junk until a friend that we trusted came and shared the product with us. And that changed our lives. Um, because when we use the product, we experience something very positive for our health and well-being. And after experiencing that, I had to confront my biases that I had as an overeducated physician, New Englander, thinking that network marketing was a pyramid scheme. I had a product and a technology in my hands that I experienced the transformation. And so I had to confront, am I going to let my biases about network marketing get in the way of me sharing something that could be very significant and transformative in another person's life? And so I realized that I'm a physician. I've had this career for many years. God put me here to help people out. And if I did not follow that and let my ego get in the way, I was not doing what my life's purpose was. So I had to share it. At this point, frankly, my wife and I feel like it's a moral obligation for us to share it because we've been involved now for 8 months and we've seen just so many positive results with things that nothing else has helped with that to hold back and not tell people about this would be criminal. So a lot of people get hung up with the money aspect of network marketing. One of the things that I've heard is people say, oh, the money goes to having fancy events and doing rah-rah stuff and so forth. There is a part of that that's out there, but you don't necessarily have to participate in the rah-rah, although it can be fun. The network marketing business opportunity is really not a lot different than conventional product distribution in how the money is split up. It's just the way that it's split that's different. So my wife and I own an organic spice company that we've had for 15 years. So we're very familiar with this. If you were to buy a product on the store shelf, about $4 goes to us as the manufacturers. The other $6 goes to the distributor of the product, the broker who's trying to get the store to purchase the product, the store owner for paying for their brick and mortar store, for their employees, and then in the end, their profit. In network marketing, LifeWave gets out of $100 or out of $10 that's spent, LifeWave keeps $4 of that. The other $6 goes to the distribution network, which in this case is the brand partners, people like me, my wife Thora, Kathleen, those of us on the call who are brand partners. So the people who get out there and tell other people about the product, educate people about the product, support people in their use of the product. So all they've done is they've shifted from paying a lot of middlemen who basically are just moving things around to paying people who communicate and educate. And so therefore, that's why we can spend time talking with people and educating them about this product. Most of us came into this, somebody talked to us quite a bit. You're not going to get that in the store, frankly. So LifeWave has just realized that their product is very unique. It needs this conversation and education. So that's what they've put their money towards. So in a conventional employment situation versus network marketing, conventional employment, you're paid for the time that you spend. In network marketing, you're paid for the service and the results that you provide. Conventional employment, your salary or your income is capped on an hourly rate or an annual rate or whatever. In network marketing, it's theoretically uncapped because it's dependent upon your work ethic and how good you are at what you do. Your schedule in network marketing is up to you, whereas in conventional employment, it's generally set by your employer. Um, the employer makes the decisions on what the business is going to do and so forth. In network marketing, you frankly own your business. Your little distribution niche is you. So you can make all the decisions about how you're going to approach this part of the business. And in conventional employment, when you stop working, when you don't show up to work, you do not get paid. You have to continually clock in. In network marketing, if you pursue it for long enough and build a large enough team underneath you that then is building a team underneath it, you can essentially step aside for a period of time or a longer period of time and continue to get paid income based upon what you've built. So it's like a real business owner who builds a business and at some point can hire managers to run the day-to-day business, and then they can spend their time doing what they want. You can kind of end up doing that with network marketing. Although LifeWave has changed their compensation plan to basically encourage people to continue to build so that there's not just dead weight sitting at the top collecting a lot of income from everybody else's work beneath them. Essentially, they've created a situation where you still need to come to work, but you get as you build a larger team, you get reimbursed um, out of proportion to the number of hours that you're currently putting in. You're getting paid for what you've achieved in building the whole team. So in conventional income, it's a very linear income. You know how much you're getting paid per hour, or if you're on a salary, you know what you're getting paid per month and so forth. In network marketing, you're building a business that is giving you both immediate ongoing income as well as residual income. So oftentimes at the start, you're putting in more hours relative to how much you're being paid. As you gain success and build a team underneath you, you end up getting paid more relative to the number of hours that you're working. So it rewards consistency over the long term. Other examples of residual income are rental income, where you purchase a property and then you get a monthly rental from that, investments that are giving you dividends, and then royalties from creating artworks of writing or theater or music and so forth. So those are all residual income. Residual income is basically something that you're not actively working for at the moment, but you still have income coming in. So in LifeWave, that residual income comes from largely two places: product orders, so repeat product orders, as well as growing the organization underneath you. So uh, building other brand partners, and then you get a piece of their pie, and that creates that residual income. So a lot of times people focus on the idea that they want builders, and this is where people get confused and say it's a network marketing is a pyramid scheme. A pyramid scheme is dependent upon bringing new people in who invest money into the organization, and that money pays everybody up above them. In network marketing, the money is generated from selling a product or service that people actually value. So uh, without customers, you don't have a business. So you can have customers who are just straight customers, and you can have customers who are signed up as brand partners to get the best pricing. That's 95% of brand partners, but they're essentially customers. And so that is why this is not a pyramid scheme. It's not about enrollment. It's about providing a product that people value on an ongoing basis. So customers are very important, but builders are also important because that is how we get the word out more broadly and gain a bigger market share. Basically, the health and longevity space is about a $700 billion a year business worldwide, and LifeWave sells about $1 billion a year in product. So we're 1/700th of the whole industry. So there's a lot of room to grow. Now, so the reality, as I said, is about 5% of people, or 1 in 20 people, becomes a builder. Most people are regular product users. And you frankly cannot tell who the builder is going to be. When we first used the product, I had no intention of being a builder. I would have told you, no, I'm not going to do this. And lo and behold, 8 months later, my wife and I have a team of 170 people underneath us. So you can surprise yourself, and you'll be surprised by the people who you sign up. So again, customers are not the problem. They create the income stream. So we want to have customers, we want to keep them happy. That's what we're focused on is serving people by providing them services. So what does this mean in real life? We uh, we build relationships with people. So this is not about strong arming people, fast talking people, convincing people. It's absolutely only about providing a product that people can use and that they want. So we educate them so that they understand what the benefits are. We prioritize the product value rather than prioritizing getting them uh, sold or signed up, because it's not about us. It's about the other side. We see ourselves as servant leaders. We are serving our team and we're serving our customers. So treat people the way that you'd like to be treated. So we're not recruiting people. This is a big change. And I think, frankly, this is a lot of the bias that I came into this with is this idea of Amway from, I have an image in my mind of my cousin when I was probably 16 and she was 18 and she started doing Amway and my grandmother kind of sniffed her nose at that thought. And so that was the bias I had in my mind because I thought Amway was just about recruiting people and selling them soap. So network marketing is not just that. So you don't have to be uptight about it. We're not convincing people. We're not selling people. We're offering them an opportunity. So in real life, you essentially, if we look at enrolling 100 people, maybe 5% of those people will become builders. Now, why that is important is that there's still a lot of customers, and that's where most of the income comes from. And to build a successful business, you don't have to have hundreds and hundreds of people. So this is a quote from a gentleman who was a very successful network marketer that said what he did basically was talk to 1,200 people, ask them if they would be interested in looking at what he had to offer them. 900 said yes. And out of those 300, one third signed up. Out of those 300, only 85 did anything at all. So the other 215 were customers. Those 85, some of them, enrolled a family member or a friend, had one or two people that they signed up. But out of those 85, 35 were serious. And out of those 35, 11 ended up being big builders. And that's what made him a millionaire. So if we look at the 300 that signed up, 11 they ended up doing something, that's roughly 4%. So 4 or 5%. This is real numbers. And that has been consistent over time throughout the network marketing industry. So this is very, very common. Now, of those 5 people, why do you want to get enough people that you get 5 people? Well, let's say you got 3 real builders and you stopped at that, and then they got 3 real builders underneath them, and those 3 people got 3 real builders underneath them. Well, at 5 generations down, you would have 243 people building the business, which is great. But there's some fragility to that too, because if one person drops out, now instead of having 3, you have 2. So there's less resiliency. If we go all the way to the right and we look at 5 people, so I am persistent until I have at least 5 people building underneath me strongly and I'm supporting them. And they get 5 people and we support them and they get 5 down 5 generations. Now, instead of 243 builders, we've got 3,125 builders. And this is kind of the magic of network marketing and staying with it and being persistent because those people will come along. And that's what creates the extreme success that some people have. Now, part of this is you need to duplicate what you're doing. So that means keeping it simple. Our team, the This Is It team, prides itself on providing a very simple strategy for educating people about the product and getting them to become customers and perhaps business partners with us in using it. So we keep it simple. Simple and duplicatable means that you are not going to be small. You will grow your business. You just have to be patient. And increased duplication size means bigger potential for growth for you. So residual income is also very interesting because it has a real asset value because it's giving you a cash flow on an ongoing basis, which gives you long-term security. It gives you the ability to pass this on to your heirs because you own your little business there. And it actually has resale value. You can sell it to somebody else like any other business. So it's an appreciating asset because the price of, as inflation occurs over time, the price of the products is also going to follow and go up. So therefore, the residual income increases. So with a conventional income or an immediate income, you get income for your time and the current thing what you're doing. With residual income, it's income from the value of the asset. So this is where in network marketing, if you start doing the business and you're paying attention to just what you're making this week and this month, you might get frustrated and give up because what you have to focus on is that you're building value by teaching people and building a team and supporting the team. And that team is the asset, and that is what's going to pay off in the long run. So reframe the way you think about it. You have to change from being employee thinking to being a business owner thinking. So what is that residual value? Well, we can make a quick estimate of that by assuming that you could make, if you made an investment at about 5% interest or 4% interest, uh, what would you generate for income? So we can reverse that formula. If you are earning through residual income $5,000 a month and you multiply that by 200, that gives you $1 million. So you would have to invest $1 million basically at 6% interest to get $5,000 a month. So in 1 or 2 or 3 years of building a network marketing business, you could very well have a residual income of $5,000 a month, which would be like having $1,000 saved up and invested. Now, if you think about this, if you were to try to save that money, how long does it take to save $1 million? It takes, if you could save $1,000 a month, it takes you 83 years to save $1 million. And $1,000 a month is a stretch for most people. If you could save $10,000 a month, it would take you about 8.5 years to save that $1 million. And it's a very, very small number of people that can save $10,000 a month. So this business has the potential to really help somebody dig themselves out of a hole where maybe they're later in their careers and they're looking at retirement and they're seeing that they don't really have a whole lot to retire on. It's also for somebody who's young who looks at this and says, wow, I could spend some time right now early in my life and build this team and build this income. And then I'm actually free to do what really drives me and not have to have a 9 to 5 job. So it fits with everybody. You just have to be really objective and honest with yourself about what you want and where you are. LifeWave itself. So if we get specifically into the LifeWave compensation plan, LifeWave has, they say 9 ways that you can earn income. I say that there's a 10th way, which is incentive trips that you can earn. But so there are immediate payoffs that you get from selling to retail customers, from enrolling people and getting premiums or product introduction bonuses. There are premiums that you can earn on your weekly sales and so forth. But then there are earnings that you make for building that team and being a leader. And those are the level earning bonus, the binary bonus, the mentoring bonus, breakthrough incentives as you rank up in the structure of the company. There's when you first start out, that's what's called a business launch bonus to help you see some income right off the bat. And then if you reach the top of the teams, you can be involved in what's called the quarterly leadership pool, where you actually share in the profits that LifeWave makes. So that's all really neat. The incentive trips are great because they're actually available to anybody, and people who are just starting out can earn them. My wife Thora and I, we earned the first incentive trip that we could possibly earn. We're going to the Bahamas on a cruise next week, and actually just today or yesterday, I think it was today, we earned a trip for two to Hawaii in May. So it's something that's very doable for people right at the start. It's not just for people at the top of the pyramid. um, if we get down to what the real numbers are, Okay, so this is based upon LifeWave's payouts for 2024. We don't have them for 2025, and the compensation plan has changed slightly since 2024. But this gives you a general idea. So again, we can see 95% of people of brand partners do not get a career rank. They're just brand partners, and they on average make no money. Now, some of them make a lot of money, $17,000 a year. I guess that's by referring people, but never actually ranking up to manager. Not exactly sure how they do that, but 5% of people are involved in actually creating more of a business. The manager level, you can see on average is about $655 a month in income, all the way up to senior presidential director, which is the average is 235, but it ranges up to $3 million dollars or more than $3 million, dollars, frankly. Um, if we take out the brand partners and just say, okay, I want to build the business, what does this look like for me? Well, 83% of people stay in the manager range. And so those are people that are like paying for their patches every month, or they're starting out on the path to building their way up. As you can see, that very top level, which on the previous slide was 5 out of 1,000 people reach that senior presidential director. Among people who are building the business, it's almost 1 out of 100 people. So it's not rare for people to get up to that top level. And most of the growth in LifeWave has actually been just in the 3 years prior to that, or 2 years prior to that. So this is a ongoing evolution of people moving up to these higher ranks. And there are, frankly, hundreds of people at those ranks who got there within 2 or 3 years, some of them much faster than that. Um, and one of the beautiful things about this business is all of those people's success depends upon your success. So all of those people are rooting for you to succeed, and they are available to help you learn how to succeed. So this is the only business that I've been involved in my life where the people above you actually want to see you rise up to equal or even be better than them. That makes their lives better. So there's no fighting over positions and so forth. It's a great camaraderie and just a really positive atmosphere and positive people that you're going to meet and work with. So in conclusion, who is LifeWave for and who is it not for? If you are looking for guaranteed income, fast income, you're looking to pressure people and be right, convince people, talk people into things. Um, it's not for you. Or if you see people as just a way for you to get to where you want to be, it's not the way. This is not for you. You're not going to be in the right spot. This business and LifeWave, the company itself, is for one, people who really believe in the product. You have to believe in it and love it because it is so out there for most people that you have to be willing to put yourself out there and talk. It's for people who value relationships and who want to foster those relationships. If you want to be service oriented, if you want to take care of people and help people, if you want to be a servant leader, this is the place for you. So if that speaks to you, you should talk to whoever got you on this call more about what the business opportunity is. Um, if you want to learn more about the business, I'm available to tell you more about it. The person who got you on this is available to to you about this. Ask questions because we're very happy to share what our experience is and what our knowledge is. We're all growing our knowledge all the time. And as I said, this is a relationship business, so we would love to connect with you if you have any questions and want to talk with us. But in the end, the decision is up to you whether you decide that you want to do it now or in a month or a year or a few years down the road. The door is never closed. So thank you all very much for your participation or being here, and we'll go back to answering questions.